Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar. In this webinar, we're gonna discuss a very crucial issue that many companies suffer from. So, before starting, let's talk generally about this workplace trend that's been gaining a lot of attention: quiet quitting. In opposition to what many of you might think, quiet quitting doesn't mean employees are resigning from their jobs, but actually them stopping to go above their or and beyond their job descriptions. They do only what's required from them. No extra tasks, no overtime, and no additional responsibilities. This is often a response to burnout, lack of recognition, or unclear expectations. Before diving into how each department is affected, let's look at our team for today's webinar. So we're gonna start by me. Hello, I'm Khawla Khouya. I'm the tech manager of this company, and I'll be the moderator of this live stream. We have Aya Jorio, our HR manager, Wisal Hiddawi, our financial manager, Aya Essay, the administrative manager of the company, and last but not least, our CEO, Mariam Ben Shorf. So, starting, we're gonna dive into the how quiet quitting might affect the human resources department, and I'll leave you with the. I'll leave you with the. I'll leave you. All right. Uh, I'll leave you with A.
Thank you, Khawla, for the mic. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all here. Today, I'm kicking things off with quiet quitting, that trend where employees do just enough mentally checking out while still on the clock. It's a big conversation across the board, and I'm excited to hear the other department takes later. But I want to start with HR's angle, how this hit us in a distinct way and what we can do to lead on it. We're right in the mix of people and culture. So let's dive into our perspective and some ideas to tackle it. Quiet quitting shake things up for HR in a way that tied to our role. We're all about people, engagement, and keeping the vibe strong. So when folks start disengaging, it lands on our radar fast. Here is what we're seeing. First, it amps up our workload. We're the ones digging in, running surveys, figuring out why it's happening, and brainstorming fixes. That's a lot to juggle, alongside our regular gig. And since engagement's tricky to pin down with hard numbers, it can feel like we're chasing a moving target. Second, it's a culture wake-up call. As HR, we're wired to care about the workplace. Post-quiet quitting signals something's off, and we're often the first to pick up on it. It's not just one person dialing it in. It's a hint about how connected folks feels overall. Finally, it's get personal. Employees lean on us to vent about workload, recognition, you name it. We're not just crunching numbers. We're hearing the human side of this, which adds a layer to what we're carrying. So how do we step up? HR's in a prime spot to lead on this. So here is a tight game plan to get ahead on quiet quitting the next slide. First, let's get proactive. Quick pulse survey. Are you feeling valued? Paired with manager check-ins, give us a head up on who's drifting. It's like an early warning system. Second, we need managers in the loop. How people are led ties straight to engagement. HR can offer training on clear communication and supporting teams. Third, let's shine a light on the good stuff. A peer-to-peer kudos. System like a shootout. Board keeps appreciation flowing. It's an easy win that lifts everyone. Finally, let's keep burnout at bay. Things like mental health tools say calm subscriptions or flexible schedules aren't just nice to have. They keep people in the game. We've got the tools to make dense data, ideas, and a focus on people. Quiet quitting is a challenge, but it's also a chance for HR. It's about workload culture. And connecting with people, and with steps like these, we can help turn it around. It's a team effort across the board. And I can't wait to hear what's next. Thanks. I'll hand the mic to Khawla again. Khawla, I'm sorry, but your mic is not on.
I'm sorry again. So thank you so much, Aya, for this insightful talk about how quiet quitting affects HR department. The second part is with Wissal, who is going to talk about her department and the financial department of our society. Wissal, welcome.
Thank you so much, Khawla. So hi everyone. My name is Wisal Haddawi, and I'm the financial manager. I'm gonna move on to the next slide and see the causes of quiet quitting. First, we have burnout from heavy workload. So many financial managers and their teams handle budgeting, forecasting, and compliance under tight deadlines. So if employees feel overloaded and expected to do more without additional support, they become exhausted. Instead of quitting outright, they disengage and only do the minimum required. Uh, Then we have no career growth or promotions. Employees want to see a future in their roles. If financial professionals don't have opportunities for promotions or skill development, they feel stuck. This leads to a mindset of why put in extra effort if there is no reward. Then we have toxic leadership and micromanagement. A financial manager who micromanages doesn't trust their team or fails to support them creates frustration. Employees feel suffocated and lose confidence in their work, leading them to withdraw instead of speaking up. Poor work-life balance. Long hours and demanding deadlines are common in finance. If employees constantly sacrifice personal time, they burn out. Quiet quitting becomes a form of self-protection. They do what's necessary but no longer go beyond expectations. I'm gonna move on to the next slide, and we're gonna see how this impacts the financial manager. Low productivity and engagement. When employees disengage, financial tasks like reporting, forecasting, and budgeting suffer. They may delay tasks, put in less effort, or miss important details. This slows down operations and affects overall efficiency. Increased financial errors and risks. A disengaged team is more likely to make errors in calculations, misinterpret financial data, or overlook compliance requirements. This can lead to costly mistakes and legal risks for the company. Fewer cost saving strategies. Finance teams play a crucial role in optimizing budgets and improving profitability, but quiet quitting means fewer employees proactively finding ways to cut costs or suggest financial improvements. The company loses opportunities to be more efficient. Decreased team morale and motivation. When one person starts quitting, it can spread. Other may feel like their extra effort isn't worth it either. This creates a cycle of disengagement, affecting the whole team's morale and performance. I'm gonna move on to the next slide, and finally, we're gonna see the solutions. First, we have competitive pay and performance bonuses. One of the simplest ways to keep employees engaged is fair compensation. If salaries match industry standards and employees are rewarded for their hard work, they are more likely to stay motivated and productive. And for the last solution, no, مش last, not last, flexible work options for better balance. Not all finance tasks need to be done in the office. Hybrid work, remote options, or flexible hours allow employees to manage stress better, reducing burnout and increasing job satisfaction. And for the last solution, we have strong leadership and open communication. As a financial manager, leading by example is key. Encouraging honest discussions, giving constructive feedback, and recognizing hard work make employees feel respected and heard. When they feel heard, they are more likely to stay engaged. Uh, that's it for my part. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wissal, for this insightful presentation. For the people who just joined, no worries. You didn't miss much. We just discussed the causes of quiet quitting, such as burnout, lack of recognition, or toxic leadership. We also explored how it impacts both HR and financial departments among the companies. The next step is the IT department, where I am going to present to you how is this department affected by quiet quitting. So for IT, this trend can be damaging. IT professionals are already in high demand, and them feeling disengaged can lead to major consequences from cybersecurity risks to lack of innovation. So let's start by how is IT department affected. First of all, we're gonna start by brain drain. So IT professionals, as I mentioned earlier, are highly skilled and very demanded. Therefore, when disengagement turns into actual quitting, companies do not just lose employees, they lose good knowledge and years of expertise. This leads to this becomes because of this, it becomes harder to fill key positions, and the employees become forced to do extra work and have a very big amount of tasks daily. Second, we're gonna talk about maintenance neglect. IT teams handle server uptimes, database maintenance, and software updates. These are the backbones of any modern company. If employees quietly quit, critical maintenance tasks may be delayed, and this leads to big problems when it comes to the company's distributions. And it also leads to system failures and unexpected downtimes. The third point that I'm going to mention is the lack of IT innovations. IT departments do not just maintain systems, they also drive innovations. They test new technologies, find new ways to improve efficiency, and support the business growth. So, disengaged employees are less likely to suggest improvements and explore automations or push for better tools. This slows the progress of the company and cause the company to fall behind its competitors. The last but not least impact is the increase of cybersecurity risks. A disengaged IT security team is a huge problem. If they neglect security and delay updates, this might lead to risks like ransomware attacks or compliance violations. When employees do the bare minimum, they might also fail to reinforce security policies, leading to weak passwords management, phishing attacks, and bigger problems. Now that we talked about the issues, we cannot just state them and leave them there to affect our improvement. We should suggest solutions. So to solve this issue, we proposed 5 solutions, or 4 with the one divided into. So first of all, conducting stay-in interviews instead of exiting one. So instead of waiting until the employee leaves, we should be asking them what would make them feel better in the company and what would make them engage more. This may help the employees feel more comfortable with their work and help them avoid burnout and stay in their job. So the second point is balance workload. So balancing the workload leads to helping the IT professionals not feel overworked. As we mentioned before, one of the biggest causes of quiet quitting is burnout. So IT teams, especially cybersecurity professionals, are often overworked and underappreciated. So them having more tasks than they can support may lead them to feel exhausted and them to lose motivation. So balancing the workload helps them feel less exhausted and more motivated about their job. Third, clarifying the roles and expectations. If IT employees feel like they're constantly on call without clear responsibilities, they will eventually check out. Setting clear maintenance schedules, support rotations, and supporting rotations uh, ensures that the work is fair between all the employees. The last point is dedicating time for innovation. So IT employees needs time to be creative. The IT department doesn't only rely on maintenance or having to solve problems. It also relies a lot on creativity. Big companies such as Google have used 20% of their time where employees have spaces where they can think and brainstorm and think of new innovative ideas, and this led them to create good software such as Gmail or Google Maps. So these solutions may help us improve our improve our company in general, and fight quiet quitting. The next part is the administrative department. So I'm gonna leave you with Aya, who will talk about her department.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Khawla. Thank you guys so much for joining. Okay, first I'd like to start with an introduction. So, an administrative manager plays a crucial role in overseeing office operations, coordinating teams, and ensuring that daily tasks run smoothly. When employees engage in quiet quitting, it can create several challenges for an administrative manager. So, the first issue is productivity, workflow, and disruptions. The effects of this are that employees are disengaged and will only complete their assigned duties without any proactive effort to problem solve, improve processes, or support colleagues. Administrative managers often rely on teamwork to ensure smooth workflows. If employees stop assisting beyond their direct responsibilities, tasks that require collaborative efforts suffer. Deadlines may be missed due to delays in approvals or incomplete tasks in handling administrative matters. The second issue is increased workload for the manager. The issues in this is that since employees are no longer taking initiative, the administrative manager often has to step in and handle tasks themselves or delegate them elsewhere. More time spent on supervision and ensuring compliance with deadline takes away from other more important tasks that they should be focusing on. The manager may feel overwhelmed or burnt out from constantly filling in gaps left by disengaged employees. The third issue is declining team morale and engagement. So, a workplace with widespread quiet quitting can lead to negative culture where employees feel disconnected and only do the bare minimum. Motivated employees may become frustrated if they see others getting away with doing less while they're still receiving the same compensation and treatment. Over time, this can lead to higher turnover rates, creating a cycle of hiring and retaining that adds more work for the administrative manager. Fourth is a lack of innovation and process improvements. Administrative teams often need to optimize processes, implementing new office systems, or find ways to save costs when employees quietly quit. They no longer contribute ideas for efficiency. The workplace becomes stagnant, and administrative managers struggle to implement meaningful improvements. Employees avoid learning new systems or taking on additional training, making it harder to adapt to organizational changing. And the last issue is higher employee turnover and difficulty hiring. If quiet quitting becomes a common trend, some employees may eventually leave the company because they feel unmotivated and uninspired. Administrative managers then have to spend time recruiting, onboarding, and training new employees, which is costly and time consuming. Finding highly engaged employees becomes harder, especially if the workplace gains a reputation for low morale. Now, moving on to ways to prevent quiet quitting. The first possible solution is building strong communication and trust, which includes scheduling regular check-ins to understand employee concerns and work challenges, fostering an open door policy where employees feel comfortable discussing workload stress, recognizing and addressing signs of burnout early on before employees mentally check out, because once they do, it's very hard to come back from that. The second solution is recognizing and rewarding contribution. So acknowledge employees who go beyond their core tasks, even if it's a small effort, implementing a bonus or appreciation program for consistent contributions, and offering non-monetary incentives. The third solution is providing career growth and training. So offering skill training, workshops, and leadership programs to keep employees engaged, ensuring that employees see a clear path within the organization to stay motivated, and encouraging cross training so employees feel their role is evolving rather than stagnant. The fourth solution would be promoting a healthy work life balance by encouraging employees to take breaks and avoid excessive workload and not giving them excessive workload, offering hybrid or flexible work arrangements if possible, and ensuring that employees feel valued without expecting constant overtime. The fifth solution would be addressing toxic work culture issues. Excuse me. So we can do that by identifying any unfair treatment or favoritism that may contribute to quiet quitting, ensuring that managers and supervisors are supportive and not micromanaging or being overly critical of our employees. And lastly, organizing team building activities to strengthen relationship and engagement. Some final thoughts. Quiet quitting is a major challenge for administrative managers because it disrupts the workflow, increases stress, and really weakens our team's dynamic. By recognizing the early signs and implementing strategies for engagement, recognition, and work-life balance, managers can reduce quiet quitting and build a more motivated team. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, Aya, for this very interesting presentation. For people, okay, for people who just joined, you didn't actually miss much. We talked about how quiet quitting might impact the human resources department, the financial manager, the IT department, and the administrative department. As a last part of this very good webinar, we're gonna introduce you to our CEO, Mariam bin Shorfa, who's gonna talk in general about how this problem might affect companies.
Thank you, Khawla. So as all my team members has already mentioned and explained the problem of quiet quitting, we know and we realize that quiet quitting has led to so many problems in the company, has led to decline in team collaborations, enthusiasm, and general sense of empathy among certain employees. We notice that many are doing just enough to get by, but there is a noticeable lack in initiative, creativity, and personal investments in their roles. As a result, productivity has started to lag, projects are delayed, and there is a growing disconnect between employees and the company's long term goals. This situation is causing tension, affecting morals, and ultimately hindering our progress. And we risk falling behind competitors if we don't address this issue. So my role as the CEO is to find solution for this problem. And for these solutions, I thought of some solutions. For example, we can reconnect employees with the company's mission, values, and vision. For example, to tackle this disengagement, it's initial that employees feel their work is meaningful. We will organize regular company-wide meetings or team workshops where leaders share the company vision and how each team member work to contribute to that larger goal. This helps employees see the bigger picture, motivating them to move beyond just completing tasks to actively contributing to the organization's success. When employees understand the purpose behind their work, they feel more connected and engaged. And the second solution is prioritizing mental health and work-life balance. We all realize how mental health is important in our personal lives and in our professional lives. So my role as the CEO is to make this a priority. We will continue to offer flexible work schedules and remote work options when employees can better balance between their personal and professional lives. They are more likely to feel energized and engaged at their work. Also, we will encourage them to have time offs and rest, because encouraging employees to take breaks and time off is crucial to maintaining productivity and mental health. We will actively promote a culture where taking time for rest is seen as essential for sustained performance rather than a sign of weakness. Managers will be trained to watch for signs of burnout in their teams and encourage taking appropriate time off to recharge. Third solution is create a feedback loop. So, to ensure employees feel heard, we will create regular opportunities for feedback through surveys, focus groups, and one on one meetings. This gives employees a chance to voice concern, share ideas, and highlight areas where they feel disengaged or unsupported. Regular check ins with the manager will be structured, not just to discuss performance, but also to allow employees to express how they're feeling about their role and the work environment. Um, the feedback loop should be mutual, with employees feeling safe to express concerns without fear of being hurt. This can foster through one-on-one meetings or anonymous surveys. When employees feel comfortable giving feedback, they are more likely to be engaged and invested in the roles. And that's my part as the CEO. Now I would like to conclude this webinar, and I would like to say thank you for all for attending today's webinar. It's been an incredible, insightful discussion, and I appreciate the valuable contribution from our team. Yeah, so as we heard from our HR manager, the issue of quiet quitting is often driven by factors such as workload surge or cultural pressures and emotional load. And we heard from our financial manager that highlighted the increased risks and errors that can rise from disengagement, pointing to the strains on our cost strategies and the need for more sustainable financial planning. We also heard from our technical standpoint. Our tech manager raised crucial concerns about maintenance, brain drain, a lack of IT innovation, disengagement, often leads to a loss of talent and stagnation in technical growth. And I understand that very well, and I'll make sure to solve that problem. And I will work on that with all of our managers and team. And as we move forward, the key takeaway from this webinar is that quiet quitting is not just an individual issue, but an organizational one. It's a signal that we need to rethink how we support our team, recognize their efforts, and align our goals across all the departments. I believe that together we can create a culture that values balance, innovation, financial stability, and most importantly, our people. By addressing workload issues, enhancing employee support, and investing on continuous development, we can ensure that quiet quitting become a thing of the past. Let's take these insights and solutions back into our daily operation, continue to build a culture of engagement, and keep striving to make this a workplace where everyone feels seen, heard, and motivated to give their best. Thank you again for your time and participation. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We will answer them very happily. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for this presentation and the conclusion, actually. So now we're gonna move to the Q&A part, where if any of you have any questions or want to know about something, they can ask in the comment section. So we're gonna start by a small question by Malak, who asked, how do remote and hybrid work models affect quiet quitting? So if one of you want to answer, or
I'd love to answer that actually. So, usually people feel a lot of pressure to come into work and interact with other people, and it's very time consuming for them. And when you're working hybrid or remotely, that pressure kind of gets alleviated, and people are able to balance their day however they see fit. And when you have that, the workday flows a lot easier for a lot of people. So we strongly encourage our different departments to implement that the best way possible. Does
Thank you
that
so
answer your question?
I guess so, and I hope also that it answers her question. Another question from WM who asks, how can HR tell if quiet quitting is happening in the workplace?
I guess this question is for me. Um, HR can spot quiet quitting by keeping an eye on subtle shifts, things like employees sticking strictly to their job description, skipping optional meetings, or just seeming less invested in team's goals. The real trick is getting ahead of it with proactive tools, both surveys, as I said. Do you feel your work matters? Are you getting enough support? Pair that with casual chats for managers about how folks are doing, and you've got a solid win on engagement. It's not about policing people, it's about catching the vibe early. So HR can step in with support, recognition, or whatever needed to keep the energy up. Yeah, I guess that.
Thank you so much, Aya. Another very good question from WM as well. Uh, she said, is quiet quitting always a negative thing, or can it be a sign of healthy boundaries?
Right. So it's not a negative thing, but it is a very bold statement from the employee. And it's basically a nonverbal way of saying, hey, I don't like it here. I don't enjoy working here, which is very important for us to pay attention to. So a positive way to relay this is by sitting down and having a talk with whoever your higher up is and discussing your issues. And if you see that that company is not working for you, then you leave, because when you quiet quit, you're eating away at the company's resources and giving less and less. So it doesn't really help us.
Thank you so
How do
much,
you?
Aya. Yes, I noticed. One last question from WM, who said, how can employees address their feelings if they're tempted to quite quit? So I can personally answer this question. So as our CEO talked about earlier, we're gonna address a small committee that meant for this, and also counseling in many companies go for counselings or hire counselors for this purpose, so that employees feel free to express themselves and talk about their issues inside the company in general. And this is not an issue for us as a company, and I hope for many other companies around the world that their employees talk about how they do not feel well in their job, or how suggest how they might improve the uh, the company's lifestyle in general for them to feel better inside it. So I think we can conclude this webinar. Thank you everyone for attending, and I hope this was a very interesting and actually there is one more question from Ikram, who asked if AI can help into reducing the workload that contributes into quiet quitting? So I think this question is for me as the IT manager. So I think that AI helps a lot lately in decreasing the workload, especially for the IT department, and I think for all the departments in general, since it reduced the work into adapting the what AI gives you into the task that you're asked for. So the AI might give you the general format of the task, and you just adapt it as what you need in your specific task. So I think that AI helps a lot and might contribute in reducing quiet quitting among the companies. Another question is how do remote and hybrid? We already answered this question. So how do remote and hybrid work affects quiet quitting? So who answered that? I think Aya talked earlier. Is that
Yes.
you?
Does another department want to add to this question?
Go for it.
Because I just shared my point of view.
Oh yeah, I mean you talked generally about it, so I think you gave everything we know about how hybrid work might affect quiet quitting and how it can reduce it actually.
Okay,
So
well, maybe they just didn't hear. So should I just
you can repeat your answer.
Okay, so basically it just lowers stress because it gets rid of that pressure to show up on time and to interact with people. And I'll think of it as like going to class physically and attending class remotely. So basically those pressures of having to be there and physically be present are eliminated, making it easier for people to do their job with more flexibility and during their own pace. And maybe some people have families that they want to tend to. So it helps alleviate a lot of pressure. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Aya, for repeating. A last question because we're running out of time. So Safa asked, how can leaders and managers proactively prevent quiet quitting in their teams? So I think the most eligible one to answer is Mariam, but if she doesn't have any
Well,
idea.
I think basically they should pay attention to what's going on in their around them. They have to notice the signs of burnout. Like if they see someone who's literally not feeling the energy to work, they go ask them, is there something wrong? And also, as I mentioned, they can also use the counseling sessions that we will be providing. And I think if we just leaders and managers generally should care about the employees and people that work for them. Because if you do, you can notice so many things, and that will help you to make decisions to figure. If you figure it out earlier, then you can find a solution for it as early as possible. So I think leaders and managers can notice and then figure it out and see what they're gonna do.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for this answer. So we're gonna end this webinar. Thank you everyone for attending. This was a very insightful night. Have a good night and Ramadan Kareem, everyone.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.